A court in China, meanwhile, has sentenced a Canadian businessman to 11 years in prison, declaring him guilty of spying. Michael Spavor has been held in China now for 975 days. Critics are calling this case hostage politics. Spavor's arrest follows, you remember, the 2018 detainment of the chief financial officer of Huawei. That happened at a Vancouver airport. Huawei has been stealing intellectual property from the West for decades. The Huawei executive is facing charges in the United States for possible violations for trade sanctions with Iran. Joining me right now is former Trump and George W. Bush State Department senior advisor Christian Whiton. And Christian, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Your thoughts on this Canadian individual, 11 years in prison in China?
Right, and the idea that this person was actually spying is ludicrous. This is, as you suggest, absolutely tit for tat for the detainment in China of Ms. Meng, the CFO of Huawei, in addition to this corporate espionage. And Huawei, it's important to remember, is basically like Apple, Qualcomm, and the NSA rolled into one in a Chinese company. And she was out allegedly helping companies or trying to get companies to violate U.S. sanctions on Iran. She's being held in Canada at our request. That case is coming to a head this week. We could have a decision as early as the 20th as to whether or not Canada will deport her to the United States to face trial. So this is China basically taking two hapless ex-diplomats, businessmen in China, and chucking them in jail.
Unbelievable. So, Christian, I mean, my feeling is, when are we going to see the free world start reacting to this bad behavior by the CCP? Why do we have to walk on eggshells around China? Why aren't we having an honest discussion about what's taking place here? And we have been on this program now for several years. But I mean, just the fact that the CCP marches into Hong Kong last year with their goose-step police, starts throwing laws around, the new national security law, throwing freedom fighters like Jimmy Lai in jail, and no reaction from the free world. You get a press release from the Biden administration saying businesses need to be careful in Hong Kong. Really?
Right. It's a big change from the Trump administration where, for example, Secretary of State Pompeo met with Jimmy Lai. This is obviously before he was thrown in jail back in Hong Kong. Vice President Pence met him, too. And there was a lot of emphasis, a lot of focus on this. Treasury Department under Janet Yellen did put out an advisory saying, hey, there are real problems to doing business in Hong Kong. And I would argue it's actually safer to do business on the mainland. At least you know where the red line's there. In Hong Kong, who knows? Maybe you put out a negative analyst report on a state-owned enterprise and end up thrown in jail. You know, last week, I believe you had Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, on this program, who said sort of very bluntly, well, gee, you know, we don't set foreign policy. We can't set foreign policy. And because we can do business in China, we will do business in China. That is still, I think, too prevalent in Wall Street and corporate America. Apple has fair notice to move its supply chain out of China ever since the Trump administration started putting tariffs. They avoided things, consumer goods like iPhones. But, you know, some of these companies have reacted. The price of commercial real estate in Vietnam, it's the one place where factories cost more than they did before the pandemic, but a lot of companies haven't gotten notice.
Part of the issue is the 1.4 billion person population in China is, you know, dollar signs for all of these corporate executives. But there are serious national security issues. And, you know, I mean, you're not seeing any policy with teeth making sure there's accountability for the CCP's actions. So, yes, corporate America is looking at dollar signs, but they're also getting a hand from the Biden administration, who's not doing anything about it. I mean, the intellectual property theft is the least of it, and that's been going on decades. How about Xinjiang and the slave labor? How about, you know, bullying its neighbors and using 2020 as an opportunity to gain new ground across the world, like in India, like in the South China Sea?
Right, and with the Olympics coming very quickly next year, considering we just had the Olympics, those are going to take place in Beijing, about the last place in the world you'd think of for winter sports. The Winter Olympics are going to be there. That sort of like doing Mardi Gras in Orem, Utah. You know, and we can't even get our people to talk seriously about a boycott of that. So we're going to be celebrating the Olympics when there's slave labor in concentration camps just a couple hundred miles away in Xinjiang. And this thing, that idea that companies can capture this giant market, I mean, this goes back to when the British were fooling around in the Opium Wars and thought, my God, you have this huge market, we'll capture it. The Chinese will never let you capture that market. If you get close, they will take away your company. They'll expropriate you. They'll throw your guys in prison like these two businessmen.
That's right.
It's just a mirage that our people keep moving forward quickly. With the Biden administration, they have continued some Trump policies, but if you're not sort of expanding them, if you're not adding new things, then people figure out a way to get around export controls and get around some of these tariffs. They've lost their shock value. And so by sort of staying steady, the Biden administration is almost letting China off the hook.
Yeah, but they really haven't stayed. I mean, yes, they've stayed steady, but you're seeing ignoring of some serious bad behavior here. And you're right in terms of the CCP not allowing outsiders to really have a piece of it. That's why I asked Jamie Dimon, do you really believe any contract you sign will be backed by the rule of law? But let me move on, because you've also got the foreign policy and the blunders as it relates to the Middle East, Afghanistan. 3 more provincial capitals collapsing to the Taliban. Now the Taliban has taken over 9 cities. They've been overrun by the extremist group just in less than a week, Christian, okay, a week, despite the president saying that he's standing behind his decision to completely withdraw the U.S. troops from the country by the end of the month. Watch this.
They've got to fight for themselves, fight for their nation. The United States, I'll insist we continue to keep the commitments we made, but they've got to want to fight. But I do not regret my decision.
So, Christian, what do you think? The Taliban continues to gain ground in Afghanistan. Now we're watching Kabul. We're waiting to see if Kabul falls next. U.S. officials are warning the capital city's collapse could come sooner than previously thought. Christian.
Right. That timeline has been moved up. Our brilliant $80 billion a year intelligence community originally said that would be a matter of years after a U.S. withdrawal, if ever. They moved it up to 6 months a couple of months ago, and now it may be very, very quick. Some of these capitals have actually fallen without any real fighting. There has been some fighting. I would say that weakness is provocative. This isn't occurring in a vacuum. You cannot be Biden and be weak on the Chinese when they come and give us a lecture on racism in Alaska. You can't rejoin the Paris Accord in return for nothing. You cannot show up 6 times in Vienna to beg the Iranians to rejoin the ridiculous 2015 nuclear deal and not have that sink in on our adversaries around the world. So unlike the North Vietnamese, the Taliban are not even allowing a decent interval before making their move. Biden really hasn't seriously appeared to back these guys that he says have to fight on their own. Now, the flip side is we do have a military and a military bureaucracy, a national defense bureaucracy that has said that this force in Afghanistan is very close to being viable. I mean, 300,000 men in that army. That's about 3 times the size of the British Army or the French Army. And for them to fold this quickly, you really have to call into question this military-industrial complex that's been basically lying to us for the better part of a decade that there's viability in this fighting force.
Let me just underline the Olympics in Beijing before you go, because anybody who's planning on going to the Olympics should look at what just happened to the Canadian businessman, what happened to Jack Ma last year. He disappeared for 3 months. Christian, thanks very much for weighing in. We'll be right back.